question. Write a function f which models the population. So you could write y equals, it does say function, so I am going to follow directions. So that is the same as writing f or y equals. It's a function based on the time in years. It is 50,000 and it's growing by 0.5%. So I add 5% to 100, I get 105%, make it a decimal. So what is the population in 2017? So you plug in 7 right there for t. 7 years after 2010, I got 70,355 people. Will the population be in 2020 and 2030? So that would be plugging in a 10 and plugging in a 20. That's how many years after 2010 it is. So for the first one, I got 81,455. Second one, I got 132,665. If you did any rounding, you might be off a little bit, and that is just fine. By what factor does it increase? Between 10 years. So again, all I'm concentrating on is this factor right here. And if you figure that out, I got about 1.63. All right, question number 2. Not a multiple choice question. There are 5 parts there, so you don't get away with just circling one of them. 5 different answers. If you got stuck, this one right here is just like it. Exact same problem, previous page. So the first one, it says annually. Well, it is 24%. I'm going to get charged 24% one time. So it's just 100 times 1.24 to the first. Annually happens one time. That should be $124.
Wait, wouldn't it be?
Or you could do 100 times.
As long as you get 124.
I see.
Okay, as long as you get 124. Next one, every 6 months. So that's going to happen twice in a year. So I'm going to take the interest rate divided by 2. I'm going to use 12% for this one. Because I'm going to get charged 12% twice a year. They do that so they can charge you more interest, right? And I got $125.44. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but they did scam me out of another $1.44 just by running it twice in the year. Every 3 months, how many times is that going to happen? That's going to happen 4 times a year. So what is 24 divided by 4? 6%. So I'm going to get charged 6% 4 times there. Again, that doesn't seem like a whole lot, but again, they will get more money out of you than prior. Just going up slightly. $126.25. Monthly, remember monthly is 12 times a year. Of course, 12 months in a year. 24 divided by 12 is 2%. Times 1.02 to the 12th. $126.82. So you'll notice our numbers are getting a little closer together here. Daily rate. Daily rate. Well, I got to take 24% divided by how many days we got in a year? So there would be my equation, 365 days in a year.
Wait, why is it plus 1?
I added 1 to all these. So 0.24 divided by 365 plus 1 added to the original. So here's what you get. You could put that in the parentheses if you want. Take that to 365 power times 100. So if they charge you interest every day, they're gonna get an extra $3 out of you every $100 you spend. $1,000 would be $30 and so on. Yes, Georgia.
Wouldn't your monthly equation, wouldn't that be the same as the annual equation?
No, because you're getting charged interest 12 times during the year. Annually is happening one time. You're getting charged interest one time.
Didn't we do
Monthly is 12 times a year, 12 months in a year. And again, the previous example on the page on the left is a good reference for you as well. So now you got two of those, pretty much in the same spot. All right, next one. You had to choose which one do you think is the best choice? Three different options, 2.25% each quarter, and you're doing it for 5 years. Well, let's check it. Option A, spending $5,000. My interest here. So it is 2.5%. As a decimal, that is 0.025. Well, that's 2.25%. So there is my decimal. So I'm going to add that to 1. Each quarter. How many quarters do you have in a year? How many quarters do you have in a dollar? 4? And you're doing that for 5 years. So how many total times is it going to happen? 20. Again, you could put it in parentheses and put a 4 and then do it for 5 years. So there is whatever A is going to be. B, 5,000. 3% interest is 0.03, so 1.03. Every 4 months, so how many of those happen in a year? How many 4-month periods do you have in a year? And 5 years? So 3 times a year for 5 years, 15 of them. Yes, 5 years. And C, $5,000. All right, 4.5% interest as a decimal is 0.045, so 1.045. Twice a year for 5 years would be a total of 10. All right. So those are my options. First one, you get about $7,802.55. B, you get $7,789.84, and the last one you get $7,764.85. So the best option would be A, more money. Question number 4. Do you agree? Well, 6% interest happening twice is 12%. 1% interest happening 12 times is 12%. So she is correct. That is the definition of nominal interest rate. Now, Elena has another assumption here. She said, will they pay the same amount? Well, 6% happening twice. or 1% happening 12 times monthly, do those give you the same number? Well, 1.06 squared is about 1.1236. 1.01 to the 12th is 1.1268. So is it close? Yes. Is it exactly the same? No. They have different, that is called effective annual rate. Question number 5, what is the monthly interest rate? Well, it's 8%. How many months you got in a year? So 8 divided by 12, you could write it as a fraction if you want, 2/3 of a percent, or 0.6 repeating as a percent. Write an equation or an expression, starting with $600. It's 1 plus that number. Uh, 1 year would be 12 months. So you could do 1 plus this, 1.6 repeating in here if you want. Some of them get a little messy. I just don't want to deal with a fraction in a percent. So I just put 0.8 divided by 12. Would not be wrong if you left it as a decimal. What is the effective annual interest rate? All right, so that means I got to figure this out. So 0.08 divided by 12, add 1 to the 12th power. What is our interest rate? Okay, so what is the interest rate? 8.3. So about 8.3% is what they are actually charging you. Write an expression. Fine, same thing we just wrote up above. Except it wants it in years. So 2 years, I'd have to take it times 12 to get months. 2 years, 24 months. 3 years, 36 months, and so on. Question number 6. Those first ones were a little in detail here. Now it gets easier at the end. Question 6, which ones you got? Anybody want to share? I have 3. I have B and D, and I have E. Those all give you the same amount. Question 7. Will the graph ever meet? No. Okay, it starts lower. It says it starts at 50. And it's not as steep, so it's going to be even wider than the other one. So it starts lower and is not as steep. It will not cross. Remember, the bigger this number is, the steeper it is. Question number 8. Write an equation that can be used to decode. So if I solve that for m, I would have to subtract 7. So that means whatever the code is, I need to go back 7 letters. It's important you don't forget any letters. You go back 7 letters and you'll have our code here. So 7 letters in front of A. Yeah, it should say this is tricky. This is tricky is the code.